welcome along to another episode of Off the Leash, brought to you by the Racing Post in association with Premier Greyhound Racing. Another big week of action and another week of good company as well. Tony Bullen, open race correspondent from the Racing Post, joins us. Tony, here we are again, looking back on a big final and looking ahead to big competitions kicking off as well this weekend.
Yes, it's packed with competitions this weekend, Dave. There's numerous events taking place over the weekend, and as I say, these dogs ain't resting on their laurels. There's plenty of poison to go at. There
is big canine action over the weekend, big equine action as well. At Aintree, of course, is the big one, the Grand National on Saturday. We've got you covered in the Racing Post, whether it be in the paper or on our YouTube channel. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Good morning, Aintree. In the morning on Thursday, Friday and Saturday from 8:30 right here on our YouTube channel, and In the Know as well in the evening. So there'll be reviews, previews, all the tips, everything you need to know to back the winners at Aintree, and of course in that big one on Saturday as well. But we are of course here to get stuck into the doggies and what is coming up. So we're going to look back before we look forward. We've got the £12,500 Premier Greyhound Racing Kent Plate to look back on from Central Park last weekend. And then what a weekend of action. Friday night, the Grand Prix kicks off, sponsored by Arena Racing Company, £12,500 to the winner. That's at Sunderland. Then we've got the Laurels, same sponsorship, same prize money on Saturday night at Perry Barr. And then we've got the Bresbet Gym Crack kicking off. Now, at the time of recording, no idea about the Gym Crack. But the other two, we've got you covered. So stay with us. We're going to piece through all of the action Friday and Saturday and give the best bets as well. So shall we crack on, Tony? You ready to rumble?
I certainly am.
Okay, right. We're going to go back to Central Park Saturday night. It was a brilliant night for champion trainer Mark Wallace and the MWD partnership. They, of course, landed the Judgment Night, formerly known as the Trainers' Championship, sponsored by PGR at Perry Barr, and they also did the business at Central Park as well. This was the Kent Plate final. Tony, you was very, very sweet on Proper Heiress. This is a proper dog. The draw to overcome, just as he did in the Winter Derby final at Monmore. Trap 4, what a time as well, by the way, 28.47. Good run from the runner-up March on Freddie in 6. King Jackson ran well in Trap 5. Another devastating performance from the winner.
Yeah, unbelievable run. I mean, like we keep saying, he's a proper dog. To do the times that he's doing, I mean, he put up a sensational time at Monmore, and he's done it again when it mattered most in the final. I said last week, I don't think there's a dog in the country that could back run him in front, and the times tell you that would be the case, Dave. But again, it's the way he does it. It's just sort of effortless. When he's in front, he really covers the ground, the dog. And I mean, to do what he's doing, it ain't like he's like 8-1 on and he's destroying the opposition as he should. He's taking on classy types and just putting them to the sword. Yeah,
I mean, that is now a third Cat 1, the 11th Core Olympic, Ladbrokes wins Derby, and now the Premier Greyhound Racing at Kent Plate. When he started off his career, this was a dog who was just diving inside. He thought, he's definitely got an engine, he's definitely got pace. He looked all back straight, really, more than anything else. Now with more racing, now with more experience, he's not diving inside as much. And more importantly, he's braking better and showing better early.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He's got the combination. He's one of those that's got it all. He can start, he's got the middle, and he stays. And I know you'd prefer him bang on the rails, but he's showing that he isn't draw dependent.
Well, he's won 2 Cat 1 finals out of Trap 4, so he can't be that draw dependent. Absolutely sensational. So well done to all involved there. Proper Heiress, a brilliant winner of the Arc Kent Plate. Now, we are going to head to Perry Barr on Saturday night for what I think is still classed as one of the classics, the Laurels. It's sponsored by Arena Racing Company as well. £12,500 to the winner. Now, this is not going to be on the PGR stream. This is a digital-only fixture, so you can pick this one up on the ATR player and on bookmaker streams. But it's a hell of a competition. 6 first-round heats, 36 runners, and we're going to go through each of them with a little bit of clues, a few clues along the way. We'll start with Heat 1, which is the 7:36 at Perry Barr on Saturday. Unanimously on the inside, 11-4. Prices provided by Ladbrokes and Corals. Fair play to them. Straight out the traps with the prices. Long Acres Magic, 11-2. Romeo Control, 9-2. Phoenix Posh, 8-1. Droopy's Prefect 13-2, a middle, and Swift Tarquin a wide for Roy Peckham at 7-4. How do you see this one, Tony? We're going to have a look at a Cat 1 winner in here, Romeo Control, who's 9-2 to win this race. He was a big price to win the British Breeders' Stakes final up at Nottingham, and he was brilliant off the front, 29.69, doing the business in the orange jacket, beating Romeo Command, Romeo Empire. He's a capable dog, as he showed here.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a surprise. I mean, what we had seen in the preliminaries, he looked well held by the principals, but he found a start. Connections found 2 lengths to the winning line, and he found nearly 90 spots overall in what he had shown in the heats. But just goes to show you a different dog on the bunny, and he's not got a lot of mileage on the clock.
No.
In fairness, and I think Connections will be satisfied with that prep trial. We've done a 344 sectional, overall clocking a 28.30, and I think he's hit a heat. Connections will be confident that they can at least qualify, Dave.
Yes, not the strongest heat, not the deepest heat, has to be said. An ongoing theme here is going to be the lack of seeded dogs. So we have got a wide and a middle in here, but you'll notice as we spin through the 6 heats that they are few and far between. Right, I am very much in the camp of unanimous Leon here. He likes it at Perry Barr. He was finished 3rd in the Birmingham Cup, and this dog is crying out for a big run in a big final, isn't he? Runner-up in the All England Cup, runner-up in the Classic up at Sunderland as well. He's been a hell of a dog for Connections, and he likes it round Perry Barr. He's got the inside line into the turn, so he's very much going to be for me. What about yourself? Yeah,
I'll favour him. It's a shame that he's not a slip trapper unanimously. Yeah. He's a misbreak pace up type, but I think the draw bang on the rails, I think he can pace up at the right time, hit the crown of the bend, muscle his way around in front, Dave, and as you touched on, he's quite versatile. He really goes well in big competition. So, yeah, I thought if he could pace up, nip round the bend in front, just go about his business off the second bend. Tiffield Tarquin's an interesting run. I've got sub 29 seconds at Toaster, which suggests that he can run and move well in a prep trial, beating the Phoenix Posh dog. So, interesting heat.
Yes, not the strongest, but an interesting heat nonetheless. Let's move on to Heat 2, which is the 7.53 righty in the red jacket, 8-1. Kalara Burb for Ellie Field out of Monmouth, 8-1. Kilmore Dancer, 9-4. Droopy's Man of War for Maxine Lock and the JR Racing Syndicate, 8-1. Hilton Wolf, middle, 14s. Churchfield Sid, a wide at even money. Right, we're going to have a look at Churchfield Sid doing the business last time out, holding off Millbank Boiler. 28.09. I mean, the dog's just the champion, isn't he? Derby finalist, of course. Let's not forget that. Feels like that was a lifetime ago. Winner of the Ladbrokes Gold Cup, winner of the Winter Derby, the Kent Play, finalist in the Birmingham Cup over course and distance, and a runner-up in the Ladbrokes Gold Cup previously as well. It's good to see him back. Yeah,
his explosive early pace has given him that CV that you've just reeled off there, Dave. Absolutely phenomenal dog to Connections. All right, it was probably a bit head-scratching. He only won by a head beating the Millbank Boiler, but 28.09, the time was there, so you can't really pick holes in it. He's just brute early pace, no-nonsense performance, and I think it might be more of the same in this particular heat.
Yes, he stopped the clock 28.19. This was, of course, last weekend on a track graded -10, so 28.09. It is that sort of race, isn't it, really? If he gets it right at the start, I think he'll cut loose and make call. Righty's been a brilliant dog for John Mullins and the Wrights on the inside. Good winner on home soil last time out. And Kilmore Dancer back on the card. The dog that, of course, he didn't get marked awkward, but I think for me, he probably should have been. Back on the card, and he's got, look at that trial, 27.83. That is remarkable.
Yeah, he's a fast dog without a shadow of a doubt. Obviously, it is a concern what he did at Monmouth. They've done it once. It's only a matter of time probably before he does it again. But if he can keep his head straight, he's going to be a competition dog because he's going to be hard to keep out the frame. Yes.
Is it going to be 2 votes for Churchfield Sid, though?
To win the heat, yeah, I'm going to be with Sid to get first run.
Okay, right. So let's move on to Heat 3. We've got another Cat 1 winner in here, and that is, of course, Southfield Poppy on the inside who won the Produce Stakes for Kevin Hutton. It's the 8-11 on Saturday night. 5-4, the red. Iams of Sydney for John Mullins and the Iams of Boys Syndicate. 7-1, Acom Phoenix, the British bred star for Kevin Ferguson. 2-1, Fabulous Aria 8s. Then we've got Beaming Panther, a middle at 12-1, and Whitewood Lenny in the stripes, who of course was a Golden Sprint finalist for Maxine Locke. 8-1. No VT here, but who's your pick?
Yeah, I mean, the Acom Felix dog, what a credit to the connections he is. I mean, he was surprisingly turned over at Sheffield last weekend, at 11-2 on, but you can get crowded out around Sheffield. He's a bold dog when he gets on the front, but I just thought Southfield Poppy, that was a good race that she won last weekend, and I know she reverts to the draw bang on the rails, which might not necessarily be ideal, but I think it'll be helpful rather than a hindrance, especially with Iams of Sydney on the immediate outside.
Yes, 2 confident votes for Southfield Poppy there. I think she's got the early pace to cut loose on the inside. Let's move to Heat 4, the 8:28 at the bar on Saturday night. Easy Eamon on the inside, 10-1 chance for Phil Barlow. Romeo Kingpin for Patrick Janssens. They are 10s and 3s. Untold Ruble, 7-2 for Tom Hilbron. Widscale Wonder, 8 for Roy Peckham. Clona Dash, it was a good winner last week for Tom Hilbron. A middle, 4-1. And then Armadahi around the outside for the MWD partnership. Mark Wallace, 2-1. No VT here. I really like the 6. I think switching to the stripes might just help this one out the boxes. Appears to be staying a little bit better. Certainly doesn't lack for early pace. So it's going to be a big player for me. However, not going to be my selection to win this because I think Romeo Kingpin is absolutely electric to the corner. And at the prices here, I think 3-1 is generous enough for a dog I think will lead. So I'll take my chance with Romeo Kingpin, but I'm very fearful of the stripes around the outside.
Yeah, this could be a bit of a scrappy race on the run of the bend. I mean, something's going to probably have to give, but I like the 6 dog, the Mark Wallace's Armour Doffy. I mean...
What's his name, sorry?
Doffy, is it, Dave? There's so many pronunciations. I mean, I've heard it called Dotty, but I don't know. But
let us know. Let us know in the comments the correct pronunciation. I'm going with Armadahi, but I'm not even sure that's right.
I think it's Dotty. I'm not sure, but I'm sure it's Dotty. Something in the past tells me it's Dotty, but weird Dotty, keep going on about it. But I just favour 6. If he can just start to brush up on his trapping, I think he could become an above average sort for Mark Wallace and the MWD partnership. Again, he ran well to finish as close as he did after turning off the pace, but he needs to brush up on the trapping. Be interesting to see if the stripes does that.
Yeah, I think that will be the case, and I think he's a big player, but I'm just going to side with the 2. Tony with the 6. Right, let's move on then. Another good race coming up here. Heat 5 is a hell of a race. In fact, I think it's probably the best race of the round. Millbank Boiler on the inside, who we saw narrowly missing out behind Churchfield Sid in that VT. 100-30 in the red. Coppice Trophy 20s. Druid Say Go, the Oaks champion over course and distance 5-4. El Tornillo, a middle 100-30. Romeo Jackson, a middle 16s, and Deliveroo, a wide at 4-1. Let's have a look at Druid's Say Go. Now, she was turned over Judgment Night last week, but prior to that was back to her brilliant best. This was a good run, 27.71, which is a remarkable time. 27.91, in fact, sorry, which is a remarkable time. You dip inside 28 seconds, you're really shifting at Perry Barr, beating Southfield Poppy. So the form looks strong. Yeah,
she's a joy to watch in full fly. I mean, she had that purple patch last year, obviously Yarmouth, Derby, Oaks, and that particular run that we're talking on now shows that she's still as good as she ever was last season. That was a tricky race last week, and she had a tricky draw, but didn't quite come away in her best fashion. And in that race, it was whoever got off the front was probably going to win. Millbank Boiler's a dog I like. When he gets it right at the cans, he's a match for all. I think he's done 23, 50, 60s at Romford, but he's not always foot perfect at the boxes. So I'll go with again Druid Say Go. If she gets on the bunny, she's impossible to pass.
Yeah, I'm sure she was seeded middle for the Judgment Night last week because she was out in 5. I don't think there was that many railers in it. I wonder whether they've clearly tinkered around with her seeding. I'm sure she carried the middle, probably hoping
she did. I don't think she did. No.
But she's done the business out the inside. She's done the business out of 5, which she did in that VT. I think if you ask Patrick where he'd like to see her drawn, I think he'd say 3.
Yeah, potentially, depending on what you've got on your inside. I mean, Millbank Boiler's no back number when he gets it right at the boxes, but she's very good. When she's a clever tracker. I like the racing line that she picks when she's given a bit of racing room.
Yeah, she's brilliant. So 2 votes for the Oaks and East Anglian Derby champion. Then let's move on to the final heat, then heat 6, which is the 902. Romeo Steele on the inside. Another one for Patrick Janssens and David Firmage. Evans in the red. Antigua Kestrel 11-2. Longfellow for Matt Dartnell. Brilliant winner last time out, 7-1. Blue Jig Baron at 4-1. Bacon Roll 9-2. The pair of them are middles. And Brinkley's Louis around the outside. Another one for Tom Hilbron, a wide there at 20-1. Right, we have got quite pertinent form here. This was at the Judgment Night last week. Romeo Steele, 28-22, doing the business here out of trap 5. So he switches to the inside. But he did beat Antigua Kestrel in 4 and Kilmore Dancer in 3. This dog has got pace. He does tend to kind of move around a bit on the run to the turn and on the bends, but there's no doubt in his pace at all. He is electric.
Yeah, he reminds me of remember the Bocco's Alfie dog. Put him in 5, he edges across. Put him in 1, and he moves off. So you never know what you're going to get with Romeo Steele, but you know what you're going to get at the boxes because he's absolutely been foot perfect in recent weeks. Dave, he done the clock at Nottingham in over the 305 metres in March, and he's followed up on Judgment Night here for Patrick Janssens. I'm going to be with Romeo Steele, but can Antigua Kestrel really be 11-2? Like, he's going to get a toe round, I think, from Romeo Steele. And if Romeo Steele does bang out and move off, all of a sudden Kestrel could have a nice posse off the second bench. So I'd be with Romeo Steele, but I do think there's a big gap in the betting here. I'd be more 3-1 Antigua Kestrel than the 11-2.
Yeah, big price. The Bocco's Alfie dog, I remember Patrick famously saying, I ring up to enter this dog and they ask me what seed he is, and I say, I don't know. I'll let them decide. So, because like you say, just one of them dogs where, listen, when you're trying to find winners and bet winners, you're trying to find dogs that run in a straight line, get a clear run to the turn as fast as possible. And when dogs like Romeo Steele and Bocco's Alfie, I don't mean quite to the extent of Bocco's Alfie, like you say, but when you find these dogs, you can see the pace and you can see their ability, but then you have to try and piece together, well, how much are they going to move off? How much are they going to move in? Are they going to clear? So it's a real head scratcher. I'm exactly the same as you. I think the pace he's shown, whether it be over the 2 bends, he won the Midland Sprint Trophy, the British bred competition that run alongside the British breeders. He finished 3rd in the Eclipse as well, over 500 metres. So he starts and he stays well enough as well. So he's got the inside line, which I think could be absolutely crucial here. He got Longfellow, who looks back in form, back with that early pace. Who knows? They might set it up, as you say, for Antigua Kestrel, but I'm going to go with Romeo Steele as well. I think he is the dog to beat in that race. Right, who is the dog to beat in the competition? Let's have a look at the outright market. 36 hopefuls line up on Saturday night at Perry Barr, and let's have a look at the market. Druid Say go 5-1, Churchfield Sid 6s, Southfield Poppy 8, Romeo Steele 9, Aiken Felix 12, Kilmore Dancer 12, 14 Bar. Who do you like for the Laurels?
Well, there's a boatload of early pace types in this event, Dave, and I always find in an event like this, stacked heavily with early pace, they can't all lead, and if they do meet in any round, you want to look for something that's going to keep qualifying. Now, Kilmore Dancer, obviously, he was a naughty boy at Monmore, but one thing he does do, he sets his sights on leaders and gets after them. So I just think that he's the dog that can keep on qualifying. And if he brings his A game when it matters, he's certainly got the tools to win this competition.
Okay, Tony going for a Mark Wallace trained runner for the NWD partnership. And so am I. Armadahi I'm going with. We're not sure whether the pronunciation is right, but I do know this dog can really run. Now, he goes in heat 4. We've already tackled that heat, and I'm going with Romeo Kingpin. But as I mentioned when we previewed that race, I do think the switch to stripes will help this dog out the boxes. He's got plenty of early pace. He showed last week in defeat that he's game and he'll stay on. So the lead is not absolutely essential just for qualification purposes. And of course, the seeded angle as well. The seeded dogs are few and far between. You've got the likes of Churchfield Sid, who has to be a big player because he's going to get 6 every race he runs in, given the makeup here. But if switching to 6 brings this dog out the boxes, they'll hope that he's in with 5 railers going forward in the semi-final and final, because he'll get a clear run to the turn. So I think it's around about 16-1. It'd be an each-way play for me as well. But it's a brilliant, brilliant competition. Wide open, 5-1 the field. Saturday night, the £12,500 Arena Racing Company Laurels. One of the classics kicks off. Right, we will move to Friday night now. We're not going to spin through the heats. Unfortunately, I didn't get a full quota of entries for this year's Grand Prix. I think it was advertised as a 36-dog competition. 24, and that man, Mark Wallace, travels up with 2, and they are the first 2 in the betting as well. Let's have a look at the market. New Destiny, 4-6. New in Cloud, 7-1. Sunnyside Broxy, formerly known as Ballymac Gizmo, a Derby finalist for Liam Dowling now with Ted Soppit, 8. Ballymac Sargi, 10s. Defending champion Farney's Willie, 22s, and it's 25-1 bar. 640 metres. Friday night, 24 will become 12. Is New Destiny as bomb-proof as the betting suggests here, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be a 36-runner event, but I think New Destiny was declared that she was heading to the Grand Prix, so whether she's frightened a few of them off. Looks like the locals, the track have had to fill some locals to sort of buffer it up. But
yes, yeah.
She's just phenomenal. She can do track records at any venue you take her. So she's clearly the one to beat. Anti-post wise, I might take the chance with a dog in the 4th heat. Now it's by far and away the weakest heat. It's more like a graded race than an open. But this Make It Mead for Ray Howe, Newcastle based trainer, I thought went about worked well in a prep race and had run well behind the Ballymac Sargi prior to that. Now she looks automatically guaranteed to qualify from this particular heat. She stays okay, and I think if you're betting without New Destiny, I'll take my chance with Make It Mead.
Well, yeah, there'd be the obviously the each way angle in there with her taking so much out of the market, trying to dig out a price. Do you know what price she is, anti-post?
I see the top list, and she weren't in the 25-1 mark, so she's clearly been overlooked.
Right, we'll dig that out. We'll bang that on the graphic. We'll dig that out. I thought it was really tricky. I think the 640 at Sunderland looks absolutely perfect for New Destiny. Long straights that Sunderland offers up. She's got plenty of pace. So, yeah, I'll just wave the white flag, really, for that one. Like I think so many did and not bothering entering, because I think she's going to be very, very hard to beat. But let us know in the comments if you've dug one out like Tony, a bit of a price for the each-way angle there. That kicks off Friday night, £12,500. Another big competition sponsored by the Arena Racing Company as well. Right then, it is that time. Best bets of the week. There's Cat 1 action all over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. At the time of recording on this Wednesday morning, we've got entries up until, I think, Saturday night. Where are we going?
I'm going to go Sunderland Friday, and I'm going to put up Make It Mead, Dave, in that 4th heat of the Grand Prix. I think if she's been overlooked in the long odds, they might sort of make a rick in this particular heat. There's not a lot of early pace in the race. I think 6 Haggard Badger will improve for his recent look round, but I can see her getting off the front by the 3rd bend, and I don't think anything will catch her if she's in front, because she stays really well. So I'm hoping they make a rick, but we'll see. She'll be me nap. Yeah,
you're open until you just told the world on YouTube. So there you go. That's Tony's best bet of the week is the 9:14 at Sunderland. Listen, I'm going to keep it really, really simple. A dog that I think is going to be odds on, I think is going to win, and that is in Heat 5 on Saturday night, the Laurels, the £12,500 Arc Laurels. The 8:44, and it is Druids Say Go. I think because she got beat last week, we might get a price. She loves it over the 480, drawn where she wants to be. More of a staying type on her inside, immediate inside in Coppice Trophy. I think she can explode from the boxes. Round about 5-4 on the early prices. That will do for me. I wouldn't want to lay odds against. I know that much. She's an absolute champion. She's going to go very deep in that event. So I'll keep it simple. Quite obvious, but I think Druid Sago is a champion and she will show that on Saturday night at Perry Barr. Right, Tony, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to give you 2 weeks rest and we'll be back. Have you got a pick for the National, the Grand National?
No, I haven't looked, Dave. Really, is it the race that it used to be? I don't think it's more of a glorified handicap nowadays, isn't it?
Right, listen, you said that, not me, but it is technically a handicap anyway. Anyone out there who knows about dogs but also knows a little bit about horse racing, let us know in the comments who's going to win the National. I'll be interested. Probably have a small little each way play because I wouldn't have a clue about that anyway. Do remember to gamble responsibly, of course. Enjoy the dog racing, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time.